I don't know, man. The more I look at this, the more I'm thinking this is really, really handled well. And I first looked at it and I wanted to say it's just too tightly packed, and it is. It is actually. That's my theory. I have two complaints about it. It's the file size, actual physical file size, and the fact that this type is really, really tightly packed. That's going to be an easy fix. I understand why you did it. I understand your reasoning and the target that you're going after, and that all makes good sense. That's why I'm not too concerned about it. Plus, you've shown that you know otherwise, so that's a good sign too. Now, in this particular case, I think that your rags are just decimating your right margin in this column, anyways. And then so that little pattern right there, and then you have these like really drastic changes in line length. So you want to kind of try to clean those up a little bit, not so they look phony in plastic, but just keep them organic. But just try to eliminate any really drastic long lines and then go to really short lines because that just causes. Oh, wait a second, that's a paragraph, and I see. Okay, okay. So, okay, here's another suggestion. That's what's going to be my next suggestion. So, if you're going to turn and let your type this tightly, I would recommend a space between in your paragraphs. You could even possibly do both. However, that your when I say both, I mean a space between and an indent. Because right now you're it's just so tight. The eye is seeing this as a group and not a series of paragraphs. Do you see what I'm saying? And again, here's this example. This one we are definitely seeing there's resting places. We know that when we're done here, we can take a little mental and physical break. There's a rest. Okay, we can start the next. Do you see what I'm saying? And here it's so tightly packed that as we glance at this, it may not be the most inviting layout because it looks terribly difficult to read. Okay, so suggestion there, of course, is to a couple of things. You can increase your um, type size a little bit in relationship to the headline. Headline's very, very large. Um, and the obvious is to open up your leading and open up your kerning to let a little air in this guy here. This black box pull quote is a mistake. Just set that. I mean, that would be gorgeous if it was just set in black. It really would. I mean, and then I would pull it away from this because technically you do want to use it somewhere where you're going to break up the text. This pull quote here it's not breaking up the text like you want it to. Think of a pull quote as a place that you want to rest. Your viewers are tired. They've swimming and swimming and swimming and swimming and swimming. They just want to rest for a little bit, and then they can start swimming. And see what I'm saying? And we don't see that here. We don't see any. I mean, here's an attempt to, but it still isn't a wrap. You see what I'm saying? Um, let's see. That's just center. I mean, you could do some really look. When I make all these comments, I'm talking for one thing, basically, and I'm talking about moving this towards your final portfolio. So a lot of things that I'm talking about are going to be looked at as not only good type of graphic practice, but good practice and layout, good design elements and principles, use thereof. So let's move to this. Layout here, and I just want to say that this layout isn't working as well as this one. It's again, well, you have that really tightly packed. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it typographically. There's nothing at all wrong with it, but from this distance right here where we're at, I mean, look at how dark. Microsoft, really now? Okay, so you see when it almost looks like. See how dark it is? The typographic color when we back off a little bit. So this page is kind of funky because it only has text right here, and then they're just trying to say too much with image. Remember, this is a typography class, after all. Okay, so anyways, I'm just going to zoom in here a little bit. Now look at this, man. You're at 37 inches wide. Wow, that's enormous. Why are your pages so big? Magazine, 8 by 10, 8.5 by 11 tops. And I looked for, I didn't see anything in your writing that addressed the magazine size. So that's curious. Okay. All right. Cool. Good job. Thanks.